It's been an exciting 1 year of daring abroad on NTV despite the COVID-19 pandemic. And we've taken you to various parts of the world, from London to DRC, from Dubai to Accra, Perth City in Australia to Senegal, Atlanta to Washington, D.C., and even to remote parts of the world like Old Fangak in South Sudan. And this is the last episode of that 1 year season, but not the end of the road. We will be rolling into the new season from October, and these are highlights of what we've prepared for you today.
He lived in the US for 15 years before returning to Kenya to start a cleaning and fumigation services company. And when COVID hit, he found himself in the front lines.
I didn't want to be a sitting duck, and that's where I started volunteering.
Yes, Robert Okubo shares how the skills he gained while abroad have sustained his business. Also on the show, the link between Kenya Airways Medical Center and traveling.
My role is to make sure that passengers remain healthy when they're traveling.
And on My Magical Kenya,
so this is an elephant dance,
a one-of-a-kind nature walk experience at Amboseli Serena Safari Lodge.
Very well, straight into the first feature of the show with Michael Zimanji.
Just keep on following the line and open up to here.
Robert Okubo is no stranger to daring abroad. We first met him back in 2019. At the time, Okubo was busy building his business into a brand. His inspiration, 15 years of living in the US.
I was visiting the US for tourism. I was trying to market Kenya, and things didn't go very well because the terrorists hit us on this end. By the time I got to the US, it was a travel ban to Kenya. That's how I transitioned from tourism to cleaning. Because while in the US, I had to figure out how to make back my ticket money, cover my expenses, and somebody was able to get me a part-time job with a cleaning company. And I was so fascinated by the technology they were using, and I said, this is a safe kind of service to bring back home.
Yes, that is how 200 Degrees, a cleaning and fumigation company, was born.
Most companies do general cleaning, wiping down buildings, floors, bathrooms. We like to specialize, and specialize basically is like doing their sofa sets, mattresses. People never think of cleaning their mattresses. Mattresses should be cleaned at least once a year.
Currently, the company has over 30 employees. This is despite the challenges he first encountered relocating his business from the States to Kenya.
At the time I was in Kenya, and I tried to see if cleaning services would catch, but I realized the market wasn't quite ready. People are not quite grasping it because I think labor wasn't expensive. You could afford a housekeeper and that. But when I came back the second time around 2011, that's when I realized the market was quite ready. The economy had improved, and people were now aware about the importance of keeping their furniture, carpets clean, because these are the sources for allergens. We started with residential clients, and today we also have corporate clients. Remember, most of the residential clients work somewhere, belong to certain companies and firms. Once you please them in their homes, they'll say, I think it's time to try them in our office and stuff. And that's where we are.
This saw the company expand its operations, with offices being opened in Mombasa and more about to be launched in Kisumu, Meru and Eldoret. But as this was happening, Okubo was keen on an emerging issue.
I was in the US buying fumigation equipment for pest control. But when I got back, watching the news, we realized hell broke loose in China. So we started preparing before it actually got to us here. And by the time we were like, hey, we received our first or second case, we started, whenever we went to homes to clean, we just volunteered to go ahead and disinfect, just to be on the safe side. Because this is something that is so invisible, you can never tell when it's with us. And for sure, within the next couple of months, it seems to be everywhere.
Armed with modern equipment, latest technical know-how and a passion to serve his fellow man, Okubo dove headfirst in the fight against COVID.
The first people I actually thought of were the neighborhoods, like the gated communities. We share gates, we share entrances, and that's where I started volunteering. Every time I cleaned, I'd ask a caretaker, while we're here, do you mind if we go ahead and fumigate your gates or your compounds? And people were very happy to receive this kind of service. Then I started thinking about our security. I thought to myself, if officers fell sick, who would be handling our lawful affairs? We did Mtwapa, Nyali, Bamburi, Central. We did Maria Canyon the way to Nairobi. We've done Athi River, Bulolongo. We've done Langata, Kasarani, Lavington, Kilimani. And then on my way to Western Kenya, we did Eldoret, we did Mount Summit, we covered Port Victoria, we covered Busia. We went to places as deep as Matunda, somewhere close to Kitale. We've been to quite a number, I think at least 70 police stations.
This is an important venture in that we as police officers, we encounter so many people. So you find in such situations, we police, we are the most endangered. This one will help us in a long way in solving those other issues that were not solved by covering our mouths, washing our hands, and doing all those protocols that are required.
In addition to this, Okubo went a step further, finding the best possible method of sanitization.
We finally got a sanitizer into the country that lasts 30 days on the surfaces. So basically you can spray it on your furniture, your clothes, your vehicle, the steering wheel, the doorknobs, your bathroom knobs, where people commonly touch, and it lasts 30 days. The beauty about this product, my close friend had it tested by Kemri. Kemri was telling us, you know what, you need to come and pick up your certification. This thing keeps on killing. So this was a game changer for us, especially for those in the front line.
By incorporating this product from New Zealand into his daily operations, Okubo has received a major boost in his efforts to secure Kenyan homes and businesses from COVID.
It's safe around kids, it's not corrosive, you know, and it's friendly to the environment. We get inquiries as far as Tanzania and Uganda, so we package them in 5 and 20 liters for those who think they can use it like that, but we offer the service because the important thing of having Zono is to make sure you're applying it the right way. And that's where we come in.
For Okubo, coming back home was the right decision. This is because he has experienced entrepreneurial success as well as played a crucial role in the front lines in the battle against COVID. This has made him grateful for the exposure he received while in the US.
One thing I appreciate about being in the US is you learn to appreciate working. The reason that country is so far ahead is those guys put in a lot of time. Most of these professionals you see out here have probably a 2-week vacation in a year, paid vacation. If you want an additional 2 weeks to make it a month, you pay for your vacation.
There is also the aspect of brain gain.
I'm grateful I've been able to stay afloat just cleaning. But the beauty about it is technology. The kind of technology that I was exposed to has kept me going for now about 11 years in Kenya, 20 years in total. And it's something no one can take away from you when you grasp. So I always tell the young youth here, when they go out there, see what you can learn that you can bring back home. It will always be beneficial to you. Kenya is a growing country. There are a lot of openings, a lot of opportunities. That's why you see all these foreign firms coming in, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, because they see opportunities we probably don't see.
For Chams Media, my name is Michael Zimanji.
Thank you, Michael, for that inspiring story. We now take a short break. When we return, the link between Kenya Airways Medical Center and traveling. Also ahead,
So this is an elephant dance.
a magical nature walk at the Amboseli Serena Safari Lodge. Welcome back. Let's now move into the second feature of our show, and it's about the link between Kenya Airways Medical Center and traveling. Welcome to Kenya Airways Medical Center in Embakasi, Nairobi. Yes, mention Kenya Airways, and what easily comes to mind is traveling and aircraft. Passengers checking in, planes taking off, planes in the sky, planes landing. But little do we associate the brand with health services. We know about pilots and cabin crew, but there are other specialists behind the scenes in the aviation ecosystem that make traveling what it is.
So this is the lab that we're very proud of. This is a Class E lab.
Dr. Judy Mae is the head of the health department at Kenya Airways.
My role is to make sure that passengers remain healthy when they're traveling, or they're safe when they're traveling. And for employees, really to make sure that we optimize their performance by ultimately making sure that they remain healthy over their employee journey.
Meaning, as a passenger, your health and safety is linked to the well-being of every employee at Kenya Airways and their dependents.
It is people who fly the aircraft, it's people who look after passengers, it's people who repair or maintain the aircraft. So if you follow the employee journey, from the time that they're recruited to the time they leave the organization, how do we ensure that, one, they come in when they're healthy, they remain healthy.
Health and safety, remember, is on the checklist of global and local aviation regulators like the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority.
So to do that, we do pre-employment medical examinations, we do a lot of routine medical examinations, and they go across the board, both from a physical perspective to a biochemical perspective to health promotion related, mental related programs, just to make sure that indeed when we do go take the plane up there, that not just the crew, but every guest who's on that plane is actually safe.
The Kenya Airways Medical Center is not a preserve of the Kenya Airways staff. It is open to members of the public.
We have the Pride Clinic Center, which is where we are sitting today. That is primarily a primary healthcare center, providing primary healthcare, and it has a group of clinicians, so some clinical officers, some doctors, as well as nurses. Then we also have other auxiliary services that we provide. So we have ophthalmology, and we have dental units as well. We have a physio, and we have visiting consultants, ENT, obstetricians, as well as surgeons and physicians also visit our center. We also have a dermatologist who comes on board just to make sure that indeed, the skin that we see within our crew is definitely worth something to look at.
And then there is the Pride Training Center.
And one of the mandates of the training center is to make us compliant to standards. One of the key areas that we do is to be able to train all crew. So all our crew are trained on basic life support, what is known as modified basic life support, because you're talking about basic life support within the aircraft in case of an emergency. And that's a requirement. It is certified annually. We also give them first aid. And part of all of that is that for every flight, we have to have crew who are trained in case there's any sort of medical emergency.
The national carrier has a network of health professionals in its stations across the world to ensure seamless health services. According to Dr. Mae, it can be challenging to fly with a passenger with a health-related problem.
So we coordinate with different medical officers across different countries and then decide whether can you fly then or then can we postpone. Sometimes you need to fly but with additional support. So JKA's key work is what is known as passenger medical services. We review, we advise, we approve, and then we support you. We are able to provide medical oxygen on board. We are able to provide emergency kits on board that both the crew and any other person on board who's trained by us is able to utilize.
And traveling, remember, is no longer the same given the COVID-19 pandemic. A negative COVID-19 certificate is a must before you board a plane. And Kenya Airways, like any other airline in the world, has to abide with the new health protocols on ground and in the skies.
Around people, in terms of the medical center, was creating COVID-19 protocols, both for crew and for passengers working with operations, and the different things that we did within the aircraft to make sure that your risks were very low.
And the good news is that COVID-19 testing services are available at the airline's medical center, not only for its employees, but also for passengers and other members of the public.
And we recently introduced an online service in which we can actually come and have a COVID test done in your home as a way to try and reduce the queues and really just reduce the risks of you coming into a hospital setup.
Interesting insights there about health and traveling. Let's now move to our last segment of the show, My Magical Kenya, and it's related to health, a nature walk at the Amboseli Safari Lodge Serena with Lauren Nanok.
My Magical Kenya, brought to you by Chams Adventures.
Nature Walk is one of the magical excursions offered by Amboseli Serena Safari Lodge.
In case you have any question, feel free.
In this walk, I am joined by Chams Media CEO and Daring Abroad host Alex Chamwada and videographer Josephat Ekiru to experience this walk. Our guide is Jonathan Moisari, a naturalist working with Amboseli Serena Safari Lodge.
These are morning glory flowers. They bloom mostly in the morning. That's why they have been given the name morning glory.
Interesting.
Yeah, or morning glowing. They blow mostly the flowers. There's one flower on the other side whereby this one just, but this is not their season. Sometimes you get them more white. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Amboseli National Park is home to about 1,800 elephants, and one is bound to stumble upon elephant dung.
So this is an elephant dung. The elephant, they eat a lot. They feed for 18 hours continuously, and they feed 250 kilos per day. So you find that the only 40% can get digested, 60% get out as a waste. And that's why you find that there is a lot of fiber on it, that a lot of grass are coming out. And this one is also adding nutrients to the soil, because once the rains will take out, then it's flush, and then it adds nutrients to the soil.
We learn about its numerous benefits.
During dry season, most of the animals, they feed this, whereby the gazelles, the cows, during half or even tough dry season, most of the animals will not be having any object to pick apart from this one. And that's when you can see now to become more food for other animals. Even the baby elephants, sometimes you can see them feeding on this when they are not able to pick the grass. It catches fire easily because of the soft, tiny, small particles of the grass. So for us as the Maasai people, when we make the fire using the 2 sticks, and then we put this one, once it is just a little drop in, then it's easy to catch.
So much to learn about elephant dung. The walk continues and stroll down to the nearby natural spring that draws its water from Mount Kilimanjaro that is located in Tanzania.
So this is really giving us a good view to the lodge. We have a lot of animals coming here. We have also, we help them to pump this water to other places.
Then we come across solar panels.
So these are solar panels. It has been also invested by the Kenya Wildlife Service, whereby it's also helping to supply power from there to pump water to the community areas so that they can get also enough water. So this is how also they are collaborating between Serena, the community, and the Kenya Wildlife Service.
So the solar power around here is powered by these solar panels?
Yes. And also we have our solar plant within Serena, that's about 6 acres of solar. That's about 2,000 panels.
Wow.
So that one is really generating a lot of power. So Serena is turning to green, yeah, because of the solar energy. Yeah, zebra.
Amboseli can be rocky, thorny and quite dusty. Jonathan, on a light note, advises us to wear better shoes for a nature walk next time.
Yeah, you should have put some safari boots. It is more hard to walk around with those open shoes or even rubber shoes. But if you put on safari boots, the sport shoes, it's good here. All these are volcanic rocks of the eruption of the mountain many years ago. In fact, that's the side of Mount Kilimanjaro. It's just as it's being hidden by the clouds.
Jonathan talks about the benefits of nature walks here in Amboseli.
Yes, it's more of exercise and also a lot of learning, because they learn a lot where they cannot even get to see well in the vehicle. You know, being in the vehicle, you can easily directly see the elephant dance and so many things, even the animal footprints.
During our walk, we learned that Amboseli Serena Safari Lodge uses a lagoon system to manage its wastewater.
So this is how it is filtered. You see how it is coming out?
Yeah.
So once it gets there, and then it goes from chamber to chamber, and then the last chamber, 2 chambers, then it's released back to the, So it depends with the season. If we have a lot of tourists within the day, you'll find a lot of water coming out because of the laundry wash, or even a lot of water from the kitchen, from the washrooms. Put this fence for wildlife not to come in.
Our next stop is at what is known as the Chef's Garden, a kitchen garden that was started by the lodge's chef, and this is part of keeping Amboseli green.
So we have the skooma, the spinach and cabbages that we plant on our own, whereby this spinach or skooma we take from here to the kitchen. And mainly if it become a large amount, we just supply to the local community living around here.
Hii shamba tuliita Chef's Garden sababu mwanzilishi ni chef mwenyewe na mimi sasa. Alafu pia ni mimi nilienda kwa management nikawaelezea maono, wakakubali, ndio tukaanzisha. That's why we called Chef's Garden.
We wind up our nature walk here at the Chef's Garden. So refreshing and so healthy to find that the greens on our dining table at the lodge have been coming from the Chef's Garden. For Chams Media, I am Lauren Nanok.
Thank you, Lorraine, for that report. And that's how we wind up our show today. Remember, this is the last episode of our first one-year season with NTV. It's been an exciting journey, and we take this opportunity to thank you for your company. We would also like to thank NTV and our other partners who've made this season possible. And be sure to join us again as we roll into the new season beginning this October. On behalf of my team at Chams Media, many thanks for watching.